Hey guys, it's your boy Poohhead, and today we're going to be talking about health and fitness to help you get the Dragon Ball body that you want. Now, if you're new to the channel, generally on this channel I only talk about Dragon Ball information, but I did promise my patrons and subscribers to make a video on fitness and bodybuilding. As longtime subscribers know, I am an amateur bodybuilder and my dad was before me. Now, the way this video is going to be structured is that I am first going to show my results, then give a general overview and talk about motivation, then talk about diet, then talk about workouts, and then maybe a few tidbits after that. Before we start though, I am not a physician or a professional bodybuilder, and I am also not going to go into hard details on workouts because everyone is different, and everyone is on a different path to your journey. This is just a basics video to help people get started or to steer back on the right path. Now, to start off, I'm going to show a few pictures of myself. Some people have said they want the mystery of my true visage to remain hidden, so I'm going to play a little music while the pictures are shown. When the music stops, the pictures of me will be gone. Okay, ready? Alright, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about health. Now, something people never really talk about is the fact that your diet and your choices and activities will define your life and general health. Sounds simple, but people just don't discuss it. As I make this video, I am 33 years old. I apparently do not feel it. Ever since my early 20s, I have heard people say over and over that age has caught up to them. 24 is when you start to ache. 26 is when your joints go out. 30 is when your knees don't work properly anymore. All of that is horseshit. That only occurs because people make unhealthy choices. I haven't felt like I aged since 23. My knees feel fine. My joints feel fine. I don't have any gray hairs. My face hasn't changed. I work out just fine. And while genetics can play a part, it is not normal for someone to feel old at age 30 or even 40. And if you want to feel and look young, you need to make healthy choices. What's more, making healthy choices means the chance of you getting a bad illness at 37, or chronic pain at 45, or a debilitating disease before you're 60, or a stroke when you're 70, are lowered astronomically. Now, I used to be kind of a chubby kid, actually. I would drink Cokes and eat candy and play video games all day and not give a fuck. Me and my best friends would spend a whole weekend drinking 24 packs of soft drinks and finishing it off before the end of the weekend while doing nothing but gaming and watching movies. But once I was a junior in high school, I was tired of that. I wanted to change. And before you say it was easy for me or that I did not have any obstacles, I'll lay out my health conditions real quick. I've got minor scoliosis, chronic muscle tightness in my legs and lower back. I've had 10 ear surgeries. I have bad allergies, I've had gastrointestinal issues, I have hormone issues, and I have the worst asthma in my entire family. Unless you are paralyzed from the neck down, there is always something you can do in terms of fitness. Now that we got that over with, what you need first is drive. You need passion, a willingness to change. Really, that's the most important thing from everything, maybe even the only thing that you need. It can be any motivator, really. To the surprise of no one, Dragon Ball is a great one. Another easy one is impressing a potential romantic partner. That'll work in a pinch. Another is wanting to generally feel better daily, both physically and mentally. Whatever you need to motivate you, use it. The reason why I started was because I sort of took a deep, inward look at myself. There were stories I liked, video games I liked, movies I liked, and obviously Dragon Ball, and wondered what was the most common factor in all of them. And what I came up with was combat, action, like daring feats. And while that was merely my 17-year-old self's determination or, thought process, I realized I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be able to jump across rooftops and lift big objects and bicycle kick when I needed to or felt like it. And I realized the only thing keeping me from doing those things was myself. my own laziness, and my own fear. And so I did. Now, I'm lucky enough to have had a lot of unwarranted, undeserved confidence, though I'll also say, for some reason I've always been like that, but I'll also say there's really no difference between that and determination. Anyway, let's get into specifics. So I generally have a 2-month program for beginners, and the goal is to both cut and bulk. People often say you can do one or the other, but it's not that hard to lose fat and gain muscle. I call it a warrior regime, because you'll look like Goku, really. Now, if you follow these rules for 2 months, not only will your body transform, but it will be easier to continue the journey. You just need to be disciplined for 2 months. The worst enemy you have is your own mind. The journey itself is really not that bad. Now, I did this in high school. In roughly 65 days, I think, I lost 3 to 4 pounds of fat and gained almost 20 pounds of muscle. And I've done this multiple times since then with similar results. Keep in mind, I was a little chubby, but mostly scrawny. If you're on the bigger side, you might just lose weight on the scale, but that does not mean you are not gaining muscle as well. So, diet. What you need to do is cut out all drinks that are not water. You can ease yourself into it, maybe take a week or two drinking less and less soft drinks or alcohol or juice or whatever it is you drink. But by the end of week 2, it needs to be only water. That is because drinks are the quickest way to infect your body with fat and sugar. Unlike food, liquid goes right to your system and bloodstream super quickly. Plus, it's way easier to overdrink than to overeat. Water is all you need, and you need a lot of it. Not only is water just required for life, but it also lowers your appetite and sweet tooth. Half the time, if you're hungry or desiring something sugary, it simply means you are dehydrated. Drink more water. As for food, it somewhat depends on your blood type in my experience, but in general, you want a sizable amount of meat, or at least a vegan supplement with good protein. You know, I've been vegan before for a while. It's kind of difficult. I usually just kind of buy, like, cruelty-free meat now whenever I can, because I love animals. I don't want to, I hate the way the food industry sort of butchers animals in it. Like, I won't get into it. But like, whatever you need, meat is good. You can count calories if you want, and that is sometimes needed. But what's the most important thing in my experience is the nutrients and filth that is or is not put into your body. If you want to count calories, I will let you Google the chart for that on Google Images. I'm here for the stuff that people talk less about. Everyone talks about counting calories. Now, I hate to say this because a lot of people are enthralled by it, but sugar is your worst enemy. Not glucose, which is regular natural sugars. That sort of sugar is something that is genuinely needed in moderate quantities. You get that sort of sugar from fruits like apples or bananas, for instance. What I'm talking about is processed sugar. Processed sugar is literal poison. Now, it sounds dramatic, but it is actually true. It not only makes fat accumulate, but it decreases your gains, it clogs your system, it makes your sleep worse, it is a huge factor in making preventable diseases unpreventable, and it is incredibly addicting. It will take a few weeks for you to stop thinking about candy or Coke, but the less you have, the better. The most ideal situation is for you to shove it out of your diet almost completely. Don't worry, if you want, you can maybe have a candy bar on the weekend during the diet, maybe a small bit of Dr. Pepper or something. But in my experience, that just opens the door for your mind to justify having more than you were willing to compromise for. You also never want to eat anything with trans fats, and to a lesser extent, saturated fats. You do need some fat, even when trying to get lean, and those good fats are called monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Fish, nuts, eggs, and olive oil have these kinds. When it comes to nutrients, it's not too difficult to get your daily dose if you eat a mixed bowl of fruit and have some veggies with your meat at meals. I usually eat an apple and a banana a day, sometimes with various fruits like strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, maybe watermelon. I generally have broccoli and chicken, beef, or fish for my meals. The hardest nutrient to get is vitamin D, usually, which is what you mostly get from sunlight, but it is good to eat to get it as well. This is one reason why eggs are so good when getting healthy and bulking up. A single egg is a good source of vitamin D, with very little carbs, the right kind of fats, and has 6 grams of protein. That's why whenever you see cartoons or movies of people working out, they put eggs in a cup and then swirl it around and just chug it. I don't recommend doing that really. I always cook my eggs in the microwave. I mean, obviously I would rather just cook them in a pan, but if I'm just eating them for the workout, I'll just put them in a paper bowl and heat it in the microwave for 2 minutes and, maybe put some cheese on if I'm feeling, feisty, and then it's done. On a workout day, I eat 3 eggs at a time. In fact, let's get into what to eat prior and after a workout. In order to get the most you want from a workout, like I said earlier, remember to drink a lot of water before and after. But you also need protein. Now you need about 100 to 200 grams of protein a day, but you need some extra around the workout. For best results, have about 15 to 25 grams of protein and a lot of water an hour before you work out, and that hour is for the water to settle and for the protein to enter your system. And then after the workout, having the same amount of protein and water then. But instead of waiting an hour, do it as soon as you can. For best results, it should be 30 minutes after or less, but you want it in your system as soon as possible. Also, let's talk about when you change your diet from sugary stuff to better, healthier stuff. Don't engorge yourself on the new foods. If you are eating, let's say, a cup of peanuts instead of eating a Snickers bar, don't keep eating the peanuts like you can eat them forever. You cannot. Even if it has healthy fats in it that are good for you, if you eat enough, eventually you will just gain weight. Take everything in moderation. Don't think that you can just change your whole diet to all your snacks to peanuts or something like that, because it will just make you bigger. You need to have, good portions, but also to eat healthier in general. Okay. And remember, if you drink a bunch of water, it lowers your appetite, so it makes you feel less hungry. Okay. And now let's get into the workouts. When I first started, I was weak as hell, especially my upper body. I played soccer for 8 years, actually, during school. I have long legs, but my arm strength was pretty much not there. I couldn't even do 1 pull-up. Now I do 20 to 30 pull-ups as a warm-up before I start my real workout. Usually 10 to 15 underhanded and 10 to 15 overhand. But past that, let's talk about the basics. Firstly, you need to stretch thoroughly, especially before a workout. Now, it is good to stretch after too, but what's most important is before the workout. About 7, 8 years ago, I think I was 25, 26, I got a bad back injury from doing leg lifts too much without the proper stretching. It hurt me and was chronic for 4 years. I had to sit on yoga balls at the computer instead of a chair, and even after physical therapy, to this day, I still need to stretch on the floor every morning now so I don't get stiff during the day. It's pretty much fully healed now. I can sit in a regular chair for hours. I am super flexible, but the chronic stiffness will return if I don't do my morning stretches. I did what Vegeta did in the time chamber and with the gravity room, which was power through without the proper protocol. Don't do that. Always stretch. Back to the nitty-gritty though, I do full body workouts. I never do core days or arm days or leg days. I'm not interested in that, nor do I have the time for that. I've never done a workout day that targeted only a certain part of my body unless I was injured somewhere else. I do high-intensity workouts. My father taught me that you should only take, at most, a minute between workouts. Less than a minute after my 20 to 30 pull-ups, I am bench pressing or bicep curling or squatting. You need to keep the blood flowing, but I also know it's difficult. It's completely okay for the first few weeks to only do 15 to 20 minute workout. There's no shame. And also, if you don't have a lot of time, that's good enough to maintain your body. I call it a maintenance workout, which is just to keep you how you are. Especially if you're already, pretty fit. But this isn't for maintenance workouts. This is for, getting yourself to the body that you want. I'm just saying Sometimes if you're already fit and you don't have the time, 15 to 20 minutes is fine. But yeah, if you're starting out and you're super tired after 15 minutes, don't feel bad. You'll get better after a few weeks. Also, I know your main goal is likely to get bigger arms and shoulders. Luckily for you, that is the easiest thing to do. Lots of bicep curls, lots of barbell curls, lots of hammer curls. Do your best to do pull-ups. They're super hard at first, and granted, some body types just aren't meant for pull-ups. In fact, let's talk about it. There's 3 body types, by the way. There's ectomorph. This is when the body is lean and slender and tends to have less body fat and muscle. Then there's endomorph. This is when the body has more stored fat, lots of muscle, and gains weight pretty easily. And lastly, there's mesomorph. This is the sort of classic Greek body when the body is athletic and strong and lean in the middle. This is the body that is easiest for pull-ups. I have this body. I have the mesomorph body. But if you cannot do pull-ups or don't have the body type, that's okay. My body type can't do deadlifts as easily as the endomorph body type, and I also can't do cardio like the ectomorph body type. Now, of course, I can do deadlifts and sprint and do cardio. In fact, when I was in college, I'd run a mile before my workouts each day. But each body type has a proclivity to do better and worse in certain areas. And that's completely fine and normal. While being obese is a choice, some people are genetically just bigger, and that's okay. And while being malnourished is a choice too, unless you just don't have the resources for it, but you know what I mean. Some people are also just genetically scrawnier and slimmer. That's not something to worry on. However, once you get stronger, I suggest trying pull-ups. They are amazing for your biceps, your shoulders, your back, and even your core. Now, if you want abs, as the old adage suggests, they are made in the kitchen. You can work out your core extensively, you can increase the size of your abdominal muscles, but as long as you have a large layer of fat in front of your abdominal muscles, they will not show. However, the best type of ab workouts are 2 different ones, one targeting your lower abs and one targeting your upper abs. Your lower abs are targeted in leg lifts and long sit-ups, as in like putting your torso all the way on the ground and then lifting all the way up. Your upper abs, however, are a bit different. What I suggest is find a cable machine, which are those, weight machines where there's those cables with the handholds, and get on your knees with the cable attached to the weight around the height of your head. So like both of your hands are holding the rope or the bar, and they are right around the height of your head. Then do a forward crunch, lowering your upper body without using your arms to pull. So your hands hold the handhold, and you lower yourself, keeping your hands level with your head, but you use your body to pull and not your arms. Also, if you want help with the upper abs, shorter crunches are also work well, I believe. Also, the one thing people always joke about and ask me for pointers on are the pecs. Admittedly, my tits are huge. Muscle boobies are pretty easy too. Chest exercises are push-ups, bench presses. Here's a little secret. I have absolutely no idea my maximum bench press weight. I have never bothered to find out in all my years. There's no reason to because it serves no purpose. Don't rack on as much weight as you can and try to do one. It's unsafe and does nothing. Instead, put on a moderate amount of weight, try to do 15, then try to do 10 more after you're catching your breath, then try to do another 5. After a few weeks of that, add some more weight. See how you're improving. Now, the best way to increase muscle mass is through multiple sets. If you got done touching every part of your body in a workout, and you have the time, try to do it all over again. It's obvious, but the more you break your muscles down, the more they can build back up. Leg workouts and back workouts are pretty self-explanatory, really, so I won't go into them really, but squats and row machines are great for both. But back to your muscles breaking down. Just like Goku in the time chamber when he was training Gohan, you also need to give your body ample time to rest. If you want to build muscle, you need to sleep. It is not only healthy and keeps you from aging, but it is the main time in which your muscles build back up and the main time your metabolism works so you can lose weight. You need rest and nutrients, or going to the gym will do nothing but make you weaker. And you need water for literally everything. By the way, a good rule of thumb is, if you want to be fit, do smaller weights with a lot of reps, But if you want to bulk, do larger weights where you can only do less reps. This is a massive generalization, but it is true. Cardio is something I'll get asked about quite a bit. It is never a bad thing to do cardio. It's a good way to lose calories, and it's a good way to build stamina, but it's also not the end-all be-all. You don't need it to bulk or cut. It's just something extra to be helpful in my experience. Finally, I want to say that after 2 months, not only will your body have changed, but that is also the time it takes for a routine to stick. That will be long enough to show the regime works, and to make it easy and even desirable to continue. Patience, motivation, and determination are key. I also need to mention that in order to diet, it's best to think of food and drink as how they are meant to be thought of, and not how they are thought of. If you want to eat well, you need to think of food not as a way to relax, not a way to celebrate, or a way to communicate. It is fuel, plain and simple. You would not put diesel fuel in the wrong gas tank. You would not fill your phone with oil. You would not power your computer with steam. You would give each item what was needed to make sure it works efficiently. There is absolutely no reason at all to eat chocolate other than its taste. And when the taste is no longer a viable reason, you realize that is not the fuel that you need. It takes a while to get into that mindset, but when you do, everything gets so much easier and moves so much quicker. Beyond that, I believe that's everything. The date this video is posted, I am starting a 3-month diet and exercise routine that will last until my birthday. Coincidentally, I also have a goal of reaching 100 subscribers of my Patreon by then as well, which is the beginning of March. So far I have 19, and if you want to help, it would be very much appreciated. I also want to thank all my current patrons, as well as everyone who thinks my video deserves a like and a subscription to the channel. I also love comments, as you all know. Alright everyone, that's about all I have to say today on dieting and exercise. Let me know if you're joining me in a dieting and working out these next few months, and we'll get ripped like Goku together. Alright, see ya.